Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back and welcome to another sister interview. I am so excited. I'm on a roll with these at the moment. I'm so excited to share this one with you. I have another exciting interview where I'm talking to the beautiful Drea from Soul Flow Co. So let's get started. It is hot, like really hot. I've got my little fan. This is what I'm going to be doing for the entire interview, which is pretty good to be fair, because it's quite a good arm workout. do, do, do. Do, do, do. Oh my gosh, he's here! Yay! Oh, hello, beautiful soul.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Good.
I'm ready to go. Are you ready to rumble?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yay! Okay, fantastic. So, obviously, welcome, Dre. It's lovely to have you here. I'm literally so excited. In my head, I've been planning to ask you to come for an interview literally for ages. In my head, I'm
Oh.
like, I must ask Drea. It would be so good to have her and have an interview. And then just for whatever reason, I think just lack of organization. And then last week or the week before, I was like, I have to do this because I really wanted to connect with you and just spend some time with you talking about what
Yeah.
you do and sharing that with all the people who will be watching this. So thank you firstly for coming and sharing your time with us today.
Yeah, it's such an honor and thank you for that. Truly. I know we've connected on social media for a while now, I think, right?
Mm.
A few months at least. But it's always been such a pleasure just seeing your bright smile and your energy fill my feed. So it's such an honor. So yeah, no, thank you.
Oh, thank you. And absolutely the same to you. Honestly, every time you post, I'm like, oh, yes, love this, love this. So, no, I
Yeah.
absolutely love it so much. So, for anybody who doesn't know, Drea is a spiritual business coach. And I love this, by the way. This is your tagline. You combine magic and tactic to help soulpreneurs. I love that. I was just like, what a beautiful way to push those together to create some kind of, again, this alchemy, right? I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of what you tap into, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. There was a time where I had pushed it aside thinking I had to choose one or the other, the
Mm.
spirituality really or the strategy, not really fully understanding it's both that makes this work really powerful. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that because it's for me like a really grounded perspective because we need both. You know, we
Mhm.
can't ignore a human side and we
Right.
also can't ignore a spiritual side. They need to blend together and unite, right? So it's great that
Sure.
that's what you do.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
So yeah, why don't we just start by you just introducing yourself and just telling us a little bit about your business and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So yes, my name is Drea, and I do consider myself a spiritual business coach, which I think, for all intents and purposes, is a little bit different from traditional business coaches because, like what you were saying, Marilys, I really draw from this conscious place of doing business, which I feel like is such a buzzword nowadays, conscious business. But for me, at least the way I see it, is a place where we're doing business rooted in humanity first and foremost and honoring ourselves as people. The profit is super important. The strategy, the tactics are really important. But I think with that comes a responsibility to ourselves also, to humans that we support. And a lot of the clients that I support are, I love to say, really, my mission is to support people that support people.
Mm.
And for me, that means, healers, people that consider themselves light workers, coaches, people that really contribute to the net consciousness in this world. I feel like I've gone through such a spiritual journey myself that I see the value in their work, and whatever I can do to support them in their business to help them grow and be seen is kind of, how I feel I contribute my light. So that's a little bit about what I do, who I work with. Let's see, I started initially more in the wellness side, more mindfulness, which
Mm.
is why a lot of my material is around, like, I talk a lot about meditation, spirituality, finding yourselves, manifestation. because everything, my journey was really rooted in all of those practices, and eventually found myself wanting to do a little bit more. So combining my corporate background with my spiritual journey, I found this beautiful mix in now doing spiritual business coaching. So yeah.
I really love that. I feel like what you're saying is that it's almost like, I don't know if you've seen, there's a meme going around, it's been around for ages, where it's like
Yeah.
one woman kind of helping the next woman up, and then she's helping the next woman up. And
Yeah.
to me, it's like this, just like cups, it's like moving on to the next stage and helping someone fill up their cup so that they can help someone else fill up their cup, and so on and so forth, right? So it's just like keeping the cycles going. And I don't know, I just get such like a Mother Earth vibe from you. It's just so much love, and
Mm.
just such a beautiful soft energy, right? So I imagine people feel really comfortable and safe around you, and that you're able to like help them move through things so they can move to the next stage, right?
Yeah, thank you for that. That's such a beautiful compliment. I know I get that a lot, like that earthy energy. I'm a Pisces, so I feel like I have that water quality, but I'm glad that that earth energy is resonating as well. I think like that groundedness element for all of us, especially those that are choosing to do our own business. It's such a crazy world, like entrepreneurship. So that groundedness, I feel really helps me as a coach holding space for other people, because it can be a really flighty journey. You can be
Mm,
really up, and then some people need help kind of like coming back down, especially people that do identify as empaths or spiritual folks. People that are finding kind of their soul purpose tend to, be up, which is beautiful. So kind of like me helping balance that energy out and saying, okay, how do we manifest on this plane, has been just so exciting for me. And then, like you said, just kind of like, I love the filling up each other's cup, because
mm.
I've always visualized it that way. Like I actually did a really powerful meditation once where I saw myself holding hands with women as we spanned the circumference of the moon,
Oh
which,
wow.
like, to me, like, right, like that's just like mind blowing to me. And I think that was when I knew, I was like, this is a calling, right? Like this is not some random thing I decided to do. I feel genuinely called to hold space for people in that capacity. So
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, I'm just totally drawn in listening to you. I'm just like, yes,
yeah.
I'm there. I love it. Yeah. I think it's so interesting to me because I really resonate, and I'm sure a lot of people do, with what you're saying about, let's say we kind of start in the physical on the whole, right? Even though when we're younger, we're more open to the veil and everything. But we start off in the physical, right? And then something will happen and we realize
Mm,
there's more to life, whatever that may be, whether it's a religion that we go down, or spirituality or whatever. And then we go all the way up, and then we're like, oh, but earth's quite harsh, and this is nicer up here, I'm
yeah.
happier up here. And then we kind of have this disconnect. So it's like we want to create this impact and this change in the world, but you can't do that if you're not here, right? That's the whole reason you
Yeah.
incarnated, isn't it? Otherwise you'd still be a guardian angel just
Right.
watching over. So
Yeah.
yeah, you being able to help people to take all of that and bring it into something physical, as you say, like manifest it on this plane, I think is just so important and so powerful. Yeah, you're like the fairy godmother to us all.
Thank you. Fairy biz mother, I like to say.
Yes, I love that one. I love that. But yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of touched on it already, but I really wanted to ask, how did you awaken? Like, what was your journey like? How did you get from where you were to where you are now?
Yeah, mine started, I would say, so I kind of grew up in the same social conditioning that I think a lot of maybe people have been, which is I kind of grew up thinking, I had to climb the corporate ladder, that it was all about title, prestige, money. And for the longest time, I was on track for that. So I, kind of got an early start, but I felt really burnt out, but not just physically. There was a part of me that was so spiritually burnt out, and I couldn't point my finger
Mm,
on it. And it was this nagging feeling that this can't just be it. Like I was living for the next like Friday happy hour, and the next vacation,
mm,
and this notion of being present or mindful, like I had no idea, right? Like logically I was like, yeah, okay, be present, but I never truly understood what that meant. And then how old was I? 33, got diagnosed with breast cancer,
Mm.
which with no family history was completely left field.
Wow.
And this was like the height of my life, my career. I had just moved to New York with my partner. I was living the life, and it was just this blow. And my identity was shattered. I did not know who I was anymore. And it wasn't just on a physical level because, I lost my hair and I went through physical
Mm.
changes and treatments. But I think it was such an ego death because I didn't know what identity to grasp
Mm.
anymore. So if I had identified before as my job or my paycheck, like those kind of went away. And I was like, well, what's left? Right? Like what's
Mm.
left of me if I'm not, my hair, if I'm not my breasts, if I'm not anything physical or on paper, then who am I? And I went through this dark period, really. And it was certainly a period of depression. Certainly a period of anxiety, not understanding, not knowing what future looked like for me, what the point of all of this was. I was angry, I was remorseful, I was grieving. It was all the gamut of emotions. And I am so grateful I at least had the intuition to seek help. And the
Mm.
first help that I went to was a therapist. And even at that time, I knew I wanted somebody that would hold space for me in a conscious way. And I, I I was so grateful, and till this day I feel like she's one of my guardian angels. Came to me in this beautiful way, and she first taught me what mindfulness was, what being
Mm.
present was, the power of meditation, along with talk therapy. So it was this beautiful melding, really, of questioning my spiral thoughts. And I think a
Mm.
lot of us feel that way, is like we get so lost in this dark, dark hole. So she was the one that first taught me how to pull yourself out of it and kind of see yourself as an observer. Which was a foreign concept for me at the time. Over time, physically, I started to look a little bit more like myself. I felt better. And one day I was scrolling, it's like kismet. I was scrolling through, I think it was social media, and I saw this ad for a yoga retreat. And something in my heart knew I just needed to go. And I signed up. Like I had all but, I don't know, 3 weeks to prep for it. But something inside me was like, I need to go. And it was a solo trip. So it was me on my own, no social media. And it was just it felt like a rebirth, because every day it was just waking up, yoga, meditation, cry. So
Mm.
just this catharsis, swim in the ocean, hike in nature, and then a nourishing dinner, sleep a full 8 to 9 hours, wake up and do it all over again. So it felt like a reset. It was such a primal way of living, but it felt so aligned. It felt so right. And during that experience, I was introduced to oracle cards, to spirituality, deeper senses of spirituality, to dynamic meditation, all these things that I felt like I was slowly piecing myself back together. And from there, I just kept getting signs, angel numbers. I kept seeing 1111 everywhere. And I didn't know, again, right? No really notion of what that meant. Googling it, I was like, oh my goodness, like it seems like a really significant number. And
Mm.
I think just following the breadcrumbs. And finally, I decided to go on this journey of being a coach, knowing that maybe I have the potential to help other people in this journey. And here we are. It kind of evolved to what it is, but that was really the start, is that catalyst for me.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Drea, because honestly, that's an incredibly powerful story, and I'm sure an even more powerful experience to have. And it's certainly not a light thing to go through, right? That's a lot of heavy, intense, and on a physical level as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes our awakenings can be more in the mental and the emotional, but you're on all levels, right? So I really see and honor you for that. And, I'm grateful that you had the strength and the courage and the determination to see that through, and to come to where you are now. It's definitely a beautiful gift that we have you with us to share this. So It's interesting though, because when you're talking, gosh, there's so much I want to say. So
Yeah.
firstly, it seems like this like experience of death and life is almost a journey for you. And we actually have a polarity in Soul Plan for that. It's polarity number 11. So it's interesting you're saying 11, 11. But it is literally life to death. And it's about going through loss and then coming out the other side with life. And I really feel like what you're talking about is a lot of that journey is, as you said, like the death of the ego. It's like, okay, that is not serving me. This is not who I'm here to be. And it's an unfortunately very deep and dark experience, isn't it? But you've come out the other side just shining from your soul. Like the rebirth is just so beautiful. So I really honor that and just really witness you in that space, because that's a huge experience to go through, and then to come out and to be ready to share it and give to other people. I think that's massive. And then the other thing I really liked that you were saying was about being present, because I think actually when you're in the ego space, it's so hard to be present because life is just so quick, isn't it? We're very
Mhm.
much told, like, you've achieved something, what's the next thing you're going to do? Oh, you've made that much money, what's the next amount you're going to make? Oh, like continuous. So it's actually really hard to be in a space of being present with the here and now and like celebrating life as it is, isn't it? So I think that's amazing that you're able to take that gift and share that with people and help them to understand what their gift is and what their life is in the moment is the focus, right?
Yeah, I received that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. A lot of people, a lot of my clients come to me with that battle in their head, thinking, I want to be there already, wherever there looks like, right?
Mm,
And as a society, we're so good at painting that picture of where there can be. And again, right, it's a beautiful thing. That practice of manifestation, of visioning is a beautiful thing, but also knowing that exactly where you are is also really
mm,
beautiful.
mm,
With the heartaches, with the pain, with all the stuff, all the emotion, and making space for all of that, because and what I'm learning too is that nothing is permanent. Joy is not permanent.
mm,
Sadness is not permanent. No emotion is permanent. So to even feel that depth of emotion in whatever that emotion could be, grief for me, or sadness, or happiness, or whatever it is, it's still a gift as humans that we can even feel it. So yeah, thank you for acknowledging that. And it's hard to even be fully in it unless you know that you are, because I think the first instinct is to maybe want to push it away if it's not good,
mm.
right?
Yeah.
To push it away if it's uncomfortable. But I think part of the process, part of the journey, is really getting comfortable with the uncomfortable too. So whether it's like life or entrepreneurship or whatever it is, I think
Mm.
that's a theme for all of us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Even as you're saying that, I was thinking, even the things that we think are toxic, and then you're saying it. So we're vibing, I get you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so something I wanted to really ask about is, what's the kind of process that a client could expect if they came to see you? Is it, I know you run a lot of programs and stuff, so is it more centered around group, or do you have lots of one-to-one things as well? Like, what would be the process for a client with you?
Yeah, I have both options, whatever feels most supportive for the person. I love group programs because you are in it with a tribe, and that dynamic, I understand the space that I hold, but I will never claim that I have everything that someone needs in order to
Mm,
grow or get to where they need to be. So much of the transformations come from how other people interact with each other. So for example, in the group programs, getting feedback from other people, or even having someone raise an experience and then
mm,
bringing it into the group so generously so that we can all learn from it. I think that has been such a powerful tool for me as a coach, really holding that space and just facilitating discussion. So I think one, as a coach, there's so many, I think, different ideas of what a coach does, but never have I ever said I will give you the answers to your problem. That is something
mm,
I have. Some frameworks, I have tools that could support you in your specific journey. However, the work is still yours, the journey is still yours. I'm merely the passenger seat. You're the driver, it's your car, it's your destination.
mm,
So if you say, I want to get to there, I say, cool. I have a couple of maps for you. Which route do you want to take? So for me, it's all about honoring that journey for this person. And I think as a, so I'm a 1-3 projector is my human design. So I love to say, like, I see people so deeply in a way
Mm,
where it's such a great asset for me as that, passenger, because if people are saying, I really want to go here, I help them really understand, is that really where you want to go? Or is that where you think you kind of want to go?
yeah,
So acting as a mirror, acting as a reflection, as well as someone that functions more traditional with giving you tactics and strategy, I think is really my gift. Bringing all of that together, like I said, either in a group setting or in a one-on-one partnership where people do get that deep coaching, more transformative coaching, really be seen, I think is what I at least enjoy and really feel is my gift.
I really love the analogy you use there of the car and the maps, because
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like, it's not one size fits all.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
it's so important, like, especially for people who are newly awakened or, newly embarking on their spiritual path, is it's
Mhm.
very easy to get carried up in other people, because everybody's always like, hey, I've got the solution. I've figured my life out. I healed this. Try this, right? There's a lot of that. And I mean,
Yeah.
we need that, right? We need all those amazing ways, but they're not always going to fit us. There are some things that we just don't work with. Like, I love EFT, but I was recently speaking to a client and she was like, I hate it. So everybody's different. So it's great that you're saying to them, like, here's your options.
Yeah.
You might like all of them, you might like one of them, you might not like any of them, but I'm still going to be here with you on that process,
Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
find the thing that does work for you, because you're in control. It's you who's driving this. I'm just here to support you. I think that's amazing. I think that's really important, and I think that's probably something, again, that will really draw people to you, because for me, like, I'm the least the least business minded person. I'm all
Yeah.
about the creative and the fun
Yeah.
side, and
Yeah.
yeah, the, as I say, like, the floaty things.
Yeah.
So having somebody who's going to say to you, okay, that this is all great, let's take that and
Mhm.
let's put it into
Mhm.
this in a way that works for you, whilst you're still in charge and in control of it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's amazing, and I love that you offer both one-to-one and group as well. As you say, for some people, they just want to get on with it, do it one-to-one, and
Yep.
other people, having that space, as a
Mhm.
group, is just so hell, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I love it, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there any current projects or programs that you want to discuss and share with us? Anything that's exciting that we can look forward to in the future?
Yeah. Yeah. So my group program, which I just spoke of, that particular cohort is ending in like a week, which is so mind-boggling to me, which is so beautiful also. So that starts up at the beginning of next year, because like I just announced, I'm taking a little bit of a break for the rest of the year. So I'm not really taking a ton of client work. I also have a workshop that's going to be happening probably later of 2022 as well, where I teach people how to create their own group program. So I
Mm,
think what people are really realizing is the power of that dynamic between like the group and people, and more really are craving that sense of community.
yeah.
And so what I'm finding, especially with healers, coaches, therapists, things like that, not only is there benefit from them on a profit side, but it also allows them to work with more people. And again, like have
Mm,
that dynamic really be so rich and so full. So that's coming as well. And then at the end of the year, so this is actually something I've been manifesting for years now. I'm coming up with a product. So it's not an
oh,
offer, it's not a service, but it's a product that I have been seeing in my mind's eye for years and years and years. And it's finally underway. So that's coming in December, or November, I should say.
I feel like I could guess what it is, but I won't say,
Yeah,
because
okay.
but I'm
You
waiting for
know.
you to share. I just feel like I got a little flash then. I was like, oh, so that's
Yeah.
exciting. I love that. That's so cool. Like, getting into products as well, I just feel is so exciting, because obviously you're a very creative soul, right? You're Pisces. So, you're going to be bringing all that
Right.
creativity into it, as well as the intuition. So that's
Yeah.
so cool that you're working on these amazing things. And yeah, everybody will be able to, I mean, obviously I'll put all the links and everything in the description box, but certainly that kind of, as you say, like, leading towards group and the community side of things. When you were saying that, I was thinking to myself, it's really interesting, because I have a North Node Aquarius, and I'm sure a lot of people kind of in that time frame, similar to my age group, will have the same, right? Because it moves quite slowly, doesn't it, the North Node? So I wonder if that's why there's that call now to move into that space. And obviously, I don't know what your North Node is, but maybe you're the North Node above or the North Node below, I don't know, to like bring those people into a space to understand how to run that, right? So yeah, that was just that was just something I was thinking of when you were saying that. But I really agree with you. I think coming into that communal space, especially with lockdown and everything, everybody was just
Yes, right.
separate, and you, how much more could you have needed community at that time, right? Whether it's family, relationships, or a wider broader thing, you know, like needing to feel you're not alone in it, and that there are other people
Exactly.
who feel like you, right? So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to try and manifest the money so I can come.
Yes.
I can come and do it.
Love that. Yes.
I would love that. Do you feel like you spend a lot of time in the divine feminine in your business, or do you feel like you have quite a strong balance between the divine feminine and masculine?
It's a practice in progress. Every day is going to be different. And I give myself permission for that. I think, again, right, I think in the beginning, I felt a very strong pull to the masculine because that
Mhm.
was just what I was conditioned to. And whenever you say business, I think that's really the masculine side that comes up. So for me, having my own coaches and mentors that are showing me the way where you can be in your feminine flow, and it's not all about like pushing and proving and striving. It truly is. And I used to kind of like really doubt that, like that's not true. Like how could you possibly, let's just say from a just earning standpoint, like you can't possibly make that much money just sitting around meditating and dancing and frolicking in the sun. Like no way. And I had to see that for myself. And
Yeah.
a beautiful, I think, that's why I always say, right, like honoring that season of surrender, because there was a time where I was pushing so much just from social media content, really feeling this, it didn't feel good. And I think that's where a lot of this notion of sales comes from, is the masculine side,
Yeah.
which is like, I am going to grab you by the collar and make you buy this thing that I'm selling. When in reality, there is a shift in paradigm. There is a way to offer that invitation without the threats, without the scarcity, without the tapping into the people's triggers and trauma.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beautiful way to sell that is all about invitation, and it's all about expansion and visualizing. And I didn't know that before. So I think understanding that on a day to day, there is structure that I do need. For me personally, I do really well with structure, but also giving myself permission to take naps, to dance, to walk barefoot on the grass, to honor my cycle. Those are all so important as
Mm-hmm.
well for that long-term success, for sustainable business, because you're not burning yourself to the ground and you don't feel like crap doing these things, the marketing, the selling, that I think makes us feel not so in alignment with that side of us. So yeah, I think for me it's a daily practice, and every day is going to look different, of course, but again, honoring those seasons and giving myself permission for both.
Yeah, definitely. I think, as you say, like having just a space of being gentle with yourself, because
Yeah.
some weeks you've got it down and you've got it really balanced, and then other times you're like, okay, I just need to eat chocolate.
Yeah.
And then being like, oh no, I didn't do any work today. And that's the point where like self-compassion comes in, right? And just being like, it's okay, because you know it's not the end of the world. I don't have to be perfect. I'm allowed to have days like that. So yeah, that balance is so important, and working with it in a really compassionate way, I think, is, yeah, absolutely the right way to go. I wonder as well, what would you say to somebody who was maybe sitting on the fence about having a spiritual business coach? Maybe they feel like they know what they need to do, or maybe they are a bit nervous of the idea of pushy sales and marketing and stuff. What would you say to kind of put someone at ease if they weren't sure about whether they felt it was right for them?
Definitely. I think at the root of it is understanding your own why. Why are you doing this? And no one else will be able to give you that answer. So if you're feeling like your decision to maybe work with a coach is coming out of a place of expansion, and a lot of people tell me, I feel ready. I feel really scared, but I also feel ready. And that is a beautiful way of opening the channel of receiving, tapping into that feminine, right? Because receiving is a feminine quality
Mm,
versus the masculine, where we feel I know everything, or I am the giver, I'm not the receiver. So even understanding that mindset for yourself is a beautiful thing, and honoring that surrender, that support, knowing that I don't know everything. And if my true why, my true intention is to get this work out in the world because I feel so passionately about it,
Mm,
whether it's transitioning out of my corporate job because I really want to give this a solid shot. Those could be beautiful reasons for why you explore someone like a spiritual business coach. The other thing I will say too is ask a lot of questions and really get to know this person. For myself, even, and I'm actually going to share this at some point, is I'm in the process of, even looking for a new mentor for myself.
mm,
And I found a few people, and I had a list of 20 questions that I sent them, spanning things from what are your thoughts around spirituality? What is your daily practice? How do you embody your work? Those are the things that are important for me,
yeah.
along with the results. So a lot of people tend to advertise my client got, 20K launch and they scaled to 5 figures. And to me, what does that really mean? And how do they really feel? So not being afraid to ask those, harder, I guess, more awkward questions, because they're fair game.
Mm,
And if you are going to invest, and for a lot of starting entrepreneurs, money for a coach is not something that comes lightly, right? We're
yeah.
self-funded for most of us. Understanding that your investment should go to someone that you feel really good giving this energy exchange with, and that the exchange that you will get fits you. I think really those are the two things to consider. Yeah, and I think it's, and knowing that the sense of expansion, there's always going to come like these feelings of fear or nervousness,
Mm,
and that's going to be like completely normal, but that's also because we are finding our edges and really having that growth. So yeah, it's never
yeah,
going
yeah.
to be like 100%, I feel so good, I feel so ready. That, like there's always going to be a little bit of like nervousness and apprehension, but it all in a beautiful way.
I really love that. Yeah, I think what you're saying actually about finding out, if you're unsure if somebody's right for you for whatever capacity with your business, finding out a bit more about them and saying to them, can you tell me a bit more about X, Y, and Z? As you said, like, what are your beliefs? What do you focus on? Like, how do people feel after they've worked with you? I
Yeah.
think that's really important, actually. I think I actually had that advice given to me when I was learning to drive, actually. And I went through 6 instructors, not for any particular reason, just the first person I failed my test with 3 times. So I was like, obviously it's just not working. I will
Oh,
not do that. And then the second person was so lovely, and I had another test with her and I failed, but for whatever reason I don't think she was doing it anymore. And
mm,
eventually somebody said to me, why don't you just like interview them to see if they're the right person for you? Because I was just going off recommendations from friends and
yeah.
things, like, oh, I've passed with this person, so like, oh well, I'll go with them because if you've passed, surely I will. But as I said earlier, it's not one size fits all. So that
Mm,
first person who I failed with 3 times, my friend passed first time with them. So you do have to find the resonance between you and that person, and the rapport and the connection, because there are loads of business coaches out there, but there's no one else like you, Drea. So if they feel like they connect to you and resonate with you, and
mm,
they know that they're going to get value from you,
mm,
then
mm,
yeah,
mm.
definitely, like as you say, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Take it and invest it, because it is an investment, right? It's an
It
investment in
is.
you, but also because of what you do, it's an investment in your business. And it's like, that's then investing in the people who are coming to see you, right? So you want the best for them, so you want to get the best for yourself, don't you? So yeah, I think what you're saying there is
Mhm.
really important and really wise sage advice to give.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's been times where, I mean, just talking about energetic fit, right? I always say, like,
Mm,
that's why I love, I don't really like to call them sales calls, right? But just like opportunities for us to chat.
mm,
I feel it's so important for me because I want people to feel my energy, and I want to feel the same as well, because there's been times where I knew this person not a fit for me. And I'm
mhm,
so happy to give you another referral to another coach that may be a better fit for you. And I think like that is the work, right? Like knowing that we live in a place of abundance, that me saying no to a client is actually for our best self, for our highest good. And so having that opportunity to at least explore and not getting caught up in like the numbers, because even with social media and like internet, right? Like you see someone with like 10K plus followers and you're like, this person must be legitimate. And it's so easy to kind of like think that way, when in reality it's maybe energetically they're not available, right?
Mm,
Or maybe their methods or the way they embody their work is not how you align with.
mm.
So i think it's just a practice of discernment, like you were saying, and knowing your fit and not being afraid to really ask for that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, what you're saying there about engagement's really important. Like, how do they engage with their audience, with their
Yeah.
clients, with their followers? Is it in a way that you like, do you like someone who's quite loving and compassionate, or do you like someone who's quite
Mm,
like out there and on it? Like, what do you prefer? Because it doesn't really matter how many followers they have. That's not really
mm,
anything to consider when you're looking to work with someone. Actually, it's like, what do they like? Am I going to
exactly.
get on with them? And therefore, if I do get on with them, it's going to work better, right? I don't know about you, but if I'm
Yeah.
not really vibing with someone, it's not
Oh
going
yeah.
to go anywhere, right?
Oh
Whereas if I
right.
am, fantastic, it is.
Mm,
So yeah, I think you're really wise as well to say that it's, you have to be comfortable to say, actually, this person isn't right for me. I definitely
mhm.
think when we start a business, get into a space of, I have to just heal everybody,
Right.
but
Yeah.
that's not the case, is it?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that. That's the first shadow that really pops up for a lot
Mm,
of entrepreneurs, is this, and it all comes from a place of, well, it comes from a place of love, but it's also subconscious, wanting to be accepted and loved by
mm,
everybody, and really understanding that we're not for everybody, and we shouldn't be.
yeah.
We should be for the people that are meant for us. So I always like to say it's not an ideal client, it's a soul client, because there is
Yeah.
that soul connection, that golden thread that connects me to this person that is like a good fit for me. Because otherwise, for me as a coach, it feels really heavy supporting someone that is not a good fit for me. I feel the energetic drain. And for the client, it's not fair to them that I'm not showing up in
Mm,
my highest capacity either. So it's kind of just setting both people up to not do the best work. So for me, that energetic kind of like match is really important. So that's what I would say to all my clients or anyone that's listening, is when you decide to look for clients or to market specifically, really know the importance of that resonance, of that energy. That way you're calling that energy in, and really finding the people that you're just, you wake up every day and you're like, I can't believe you're my client. Like you're just the most amazing person in the world, which I over and over, I'm like, I can't believe this is my life. Like these clients of mine are
mm,
just so amazing, beautiful humans. I can't believe I get to support them. So it took a while to get there, but understanding who that person is and then calling them in intentionally, really
mm.
is the key to all of it.
Yeah, yeah, I really love that. And as well, what you're saying earlier about, if you have a space of community, if that person isn't for you, you already know who you can refer them to. And then
Yeah,
you're already paying it forth, right? And
right.
connecting in that
Yep.
sisterly or that loving way to the people around you. Definitely. Like, I think that's just such a beautiful thing to be able to do, like to say, actually, this isn't the right connection for me and you, but I happen to know somebody who would be amazing for you, who would just really be able to just connect with you in that level that you're looking for. So yeah, I think that that comes back to that space again, that community, and that bringing everything in ultimately together, which I just, yeah, I think is beautiful, to be honest with you. So yeah, and the last thing I wanted to ask you, if you feel comfortable to do so, is there one specific tip, or maybe there's more than one that you can think of, that you would share for anybody who's thinking of setting up a business, or maybe who's just started, that you could share with them?
Yeah, I would probably say, maybe just going back to what I've mentioned before, which is to feel the fear and really honor where you are, but don't be afraid to kind of just go for it, because I think we're all so called to do important work, and sometimes it could feel really overwhelming, kind of just like seeing everyone else in the space doing their thing.
Mm,
So don't get caught up in like what that future looks like. Really being present and honoring your own journey as a beginner, I think, is so crucial, and embracing that. Like there's so many beautiful things about being a beginner, and not yeah, like I said, just like not getting caught up in all of that, because you deserve a shot, whether it's because you had something that was like really life changing or an awakening, and you want to share this gift or give back. Giving yourself that shot, like, speaking from someone that didn't know how long I had, on this plane,
Mm.
it's really a beautiful motivation to just understand, like, at the end of my day, when I look back, what is it that I really want to be proud of? And if for you, supporting other people and really going for what your soul desires is really important and high on the list for you, then I would say give it a fair shot. Go for it and feel that fear, but do it, and find that person that's going to help support you.
Yeah, I love that. I totally agree. I think it's so easy to get caught into a space of comparison, not
Mhm.
just obviously, like everyday life that we have on social media, but also in business. It's like, am I in the right space in my business? Am I earning enough? Am I promoting it the right way? So it's really easy to compare. So as you say, just focus on yourself. And if you need or would like some guidance, then certainly reach out for that. Reach out to Drea. But other than that, just going with what feels good for you,
Yeah.
rather than being like, oh, that person's earned this or that person's put that out, maybe I should do. No, like, do you. I think that's so important. It's such a great message to share, definitely.
Mhm, mhm.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Drea, and for sharing all of your beautiful wisdom and your time and your energy with us. I'm just loving your talk in the background, just you're totally relaxing.
I know, he's just chilling back there.
I don't blame him. Is it morning for you at the moment?
It is afternoon, 3 p.m. for me.
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, that's okay. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh, I hope time zone wise it's not
Oh,
too
no, no,
early
no,
for
no. This
me.
was this is perfect. Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Have you got any nice plans for the evening?
I am probably gonna hop in the pool for a little bit of a
Oh,
swim later on. It's definitely summer proper over here, so
yeah, it's
it'll
so
be nice.
hot. It's
Yeah, it
mad,
is.
isn't it? Literally, I have
Yeah.
my fan with me because I was like, I
Do
know
you?
I'm gonna get.
I love that.
I was literally fanning myself so much before you came on. I was like, okay, cool down.
Cool down, right?
Yeah, it's mad. We don't normally get like such heat here in the UK,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when we do, just especially for me anyway, I just can't. I'm not used to it. I can't cope with it, so I'm like, no.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely ran some errands this morning and then hopped in the bath when I got back. So I was like, I cannot go and see Drea this hot. It's not fair. So, yeah, lovely. But yeah, that sounds really nice. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much. I will put everything everyone needs in the description box so they can connect with you. And obviously, massive congratulations for the next couple of months and
Thank
birthing a
you.
beautiful child into the world.
I
I know you're going to be an
know.
amazing mother.
Oh, thank you so much. No, I appreciate that. It's been, like I said, I mean, I've been following you for so long, and
Oh,
I see you too for everything that you do and all the light that you're bringing into this world. I congratulate you, and just so honored to be in your space and even just doing this. So thank you.
oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's really sweet of you. I really appreciate that. So oh, it's been lovely chatting to you. Let me just stop the recording. It'll do this. I just saw your Instagram post.
Oh, you did. I know. I just decided I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the band-aid. So yeah, yeah. I
Really
know.
exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is it going to be a little Virgo baby or a Leo?
It is, yeah, a Virgo baby. They're right on the cusp of a Virgo Libra. So just depending on, yeah. So we'll see.
I'm voting for Libra. Come on, girl. You can do
Yeah.
it.
I
Oh
should
my
take
gosh, I'm so
Mets
excited.
actually.
Yeah, yeah. I keep wanting to say she, but you may or may not know what kind of physical.
Yeah. No, no, I do. It's a he. So
It's
it's a
a he. Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah. So depending on when he decides to arrive, we'll find out.
Oh
So
my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I was like, how do I not know this?
I know. Everyone's like, how did you keep this a secret? But social media, chest up. We don't need to show like the
Hmm.
bottom. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm with you there.
yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Well, I'm so happy that we're doing this today when you've announced that. That's really
Me
exciting. So,
too.
yeah, I kind of feel like, wow, what an amazing transition your life seems to be going through, right?
It's, I was talking to my best friend that the universe just, it gives you what you need, not what you want. And I think we get so wrapped up in trying to plan things out, and to an extent I think we can, but the last couple of weeks have just been kind of like back to back things,
Mm,
and I really am honoring the season of surrender for me, which doesn't always come easy. But again, like always a beautiful lesson. So I'm so glad though. I'm so glad that I took the time to kind of just like take a break
mm.
and rest and nourish. Like I feel like my spirit feels much lighter, much happier. So I'm so excited. I'm super excited. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the last 18 months have just been this huge period of growth and change for so many people, whether
Mhm.
you're already like on your spiritual journey or whether it's opened you up to it. I just feel like everybody I've spoken to has had some kind of transformation, would be the best word. They've either transformed their business or themselves or their relationships or maybe all of them, right? So it's a really, I think, interesting time. Yes, there's a lot of
Mhm.
loss, but there's also a lot of life, so it's like
Yes.
balance.
I love that. Yeah, it's definitely a cycle of life, and just this is proof number one for me, just losing a baby and gaining a baby. So
Mhm.
it's beautiful, truly. The cycle is beautiful. So
Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this interview as much as I did in the comments below, and I will see you guys in next week's video.